AFN Steve Jordahl reports.
Representative Keith Self and Representative Chip Roy, both from Texas, started the Sharia-Free America caucus late last year after hearing Muslim after Muslim in America say things like this.
We do not want to melt into American society and disappear. We want to go into American society with Islamic ideals and revamp their thinking. We want to revamp them. We want to turn them into Muslim individuals.
AFR Talk host Jetta Ellis spoke with Congressman Self, who says bills are on the way.
He said that the caucus is looking at some legislation to ensure that specifically Sharia law cannot get a foothold.
She says court cases are being prepared that are meant to safeguard American democracy, but they have to be very specific cases that are properly vetted. It's a slow, methodical process.
I think that there are legal cases that can and should be filed, and we need to push and expect that our U.S. Supreme Court will uphold our legal system.
Ellis says the tension is that American Islamists are not showing the same methodical, deliberate mindset.
I think we're closer to midnight in terms of the practical reality of the fact that there are domestic terror cells that are already here. There is a thinking that religious freedom means that we need to validate, not just tolerate, any worldview and belief system and legal system in this country.
I'm Steve Jordahl.
We've covered stories this week about the cold weather east of the Mississippi. For folks in the southwestern U.S., the big story is a heat wave. Here's Fox's Chris Foster.
It's been in the mid-90s, and Phoenix, Arizona is expected to have highs in the hundreds for 5 straight days through Saturday, approaching or setting new records for March. Most spring training baseball games in Arizona are being moved to the morning or early evening to avoid the afternoon heat. Temperatures in Los Angeles are back up after record highs last week. The California Bay Area is under its first ever National Weather Service heat advisory in March. That's expected to last through the week. Heat records for the date have fallen in cities in Texas as well over the last few days. Denver could hit a record 85 this weekend. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Facing a growing threat from Walmart, Amazon is expanding faster delivery service. Fox's Frank Lanza has details.
Amazon now offering quicker delivery options in certain cities across the country. But like anything, it will cost you. 1-hour delivery is now available in some places that cost $9.99 for Amazon Prime members and $19.99 for non-members. The e-commerce giant also offering 3-hour delivery in more than 2,000 locations. That's a bit cheaper at $4.99 and $14.99. The items available include household essentials, health and beauty products, and over-the-counter medications.
In final news, the World Baseball Classic wraps tonight with a championship game between the U.S. and Venezuela. The U.S. is coming into the game with an extra day of rest. Venezuela played last night and defeated Italy thanks to a 3-run 7th-inning rally. Find more news on afn.net. When you're there, be sure to subscribe to our free daily email news briefs. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on X. I'm Chris Woodward. Thank you for listening.
The loss of a child through abortion, miscarriage, or stillbirth affects the emotional health of families. Feelings of anger, sadness, and regret can be overwhelming. There is hope and healing in the aftermath of a reproductive loss. Call the International Helpline at 866-482-LIFE to talk with someone who has been where you are and healed to help others. Your call is confidential. 866-482-LIFE.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. I'm Tim Wildman. Today's Tuesday, March the 17th, 2026, and we, again, as always, we thank you for listening. Joining me in studio today is Ed Vitagliano. Good morning, Brother Ed.
Good morning, Tim.
And Fred Jackson. Good morning.
Hi there, Tim.
And Chris Woodward.
Good morning.
Fred's the only one wearing green today.
Yep.
I forgot all about it.
I forgot too.
But then again, I'm not Irish, so I have an excuse.
Well, yeah, but we're all Irish today, Ed. I think. Fred, you remembered though, did you?
No.
Or did you just
Purely accidental.
Or
accidental.
This is the one I pulled.
okay, or watch this. Or you just lucked up. And pull the green one out of the
Very good. Very good.
the luck of the Irish.
The luck of the Canadians.
So it is St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
So everybody will go to an Irish pub tonight.
Well, I don't think that I wouldn't, but I don't think there are any.
We don't have any in Tupelo.
No.
We need one. We need an Irish.
Now, I hope I could say this on the air, but when I was at Boston College, I was not a Christian. On St. Patrick's Day.
So you're not responsible for.
I'm not responsible for. Well, I was responsible. I'm forgiven. Let's put it that way.
Forgiven. Okay.
But they had a pub on the campus of Boston College.
Okay.
And on St. Patrick's Day, they would sell green beer and green hot dogs. Now, the green beer, okay, that's
kind of common, isn't it?
That is common, but the green hot dogs, okay, I could drink the one, but I could not eat the second. It's just something about meat that's dyed green where you go, I know it's just dye, but I can't do it.
Was it a pink hot dog? You know how some of them. I'm just wondering how much food color was involved.
They weren't completely green. It wasn't like a crayon or something. But
you're eating a piece of cream.
Have you ever been to McGuire's down on the coast?
No, McGuire's.
Oh yeah, that's at Destin area.
They've got one in Destin and let's see, Pensacola. I know. It's called McGuire's Irish Pub.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a big restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's got the Irish motif everywhere.
Your food is served by leprechauns or something? Or
yeah, they're real leprechauns too. They all live in a little commune there.
As leprechauns are wont to do.
You ever seen a bunch of leprechauns on the beach? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just running around.
That's what happens when you eat a green hot dog.
Now
you start seeing
your
leprechauns.
problem is your 3-foot waves. Take them down. You know what I'm saying?
You have a knack of being able to take some absurd statement that I made, and then you just run with it. The 3-foot waves taking out the leprechauns. It's a national tragedy.
Lifeguards just are pulling their hair out.
Yeah,
trying to search for these little fellas.
I didn't see that episode of Baywatch.
Yeah. You shouldn't be watching Baywatch anyway, Chris.
Well, you shouldn't be going to an Irish pub, sir.
Duly noted. I don't drink the green beer. I just but they have. I would just say this: they have excellent food, and so if you're down and this, they don't pay me for this. I don't even know the owners.
Right.
It's called McGuire's Irish Pub. Hey, but it's a big restaurant. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so folks, we want to hear your stories about St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
No.
Have you ever seen a leprechaun out in the ocean swimming around? Go ahead.
All right, folks. We do have Share-a-thon coming up. Our spring Share-a-thon, April 7, 8, 9. And we are looking for listener stories. Nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day. We do gather listener stories to play during our share-a-thons, and so we'd like to hear from you. And here's the question we're asking. Has the Lord used American Family Radio to bless you in any way? If you have a story you would like to share, not only would we who work here love to hear it, but it would also be a blessing and an encouragement to other people. And so here's how you do that. Here's the number to call. We want to hear your stories, 877-876-8893. That's our listener story line. You won't talk to a person, but it'll be kind of like the old answering machine. You will leave a message, and we are looking for a minute or two of your testimony. You don't have to go into great detail. Shorter, the better. But you might hear yourself during Share-a-thon, and others would hear that testimony as well. And here's the number again, 877-876-8893. And if you have seen a leprechaun, you probably need to call another helpline. That would be funny. So anyway, thank you in advance if you want to do that.
All right, Chris, what's your first story?
Well, it is day 18 of Operation Epic Furry. That's the name of the combat operation between the nation of Israel and the U.S. And today's update involves news of a couple of more Iranian security officials being eliminated by Israel. Fox's Trey Yingst broke the news earlier today, and I've got that audio from the initial news report, clip 3.
It's huge news. According to Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, top Iranian official Ali Larijani is dead. He was killed in a strike overnight. According to Israel's defense minister, this was probably the most significant strike, you could describe it, in the past week and a half, as the Israelis and the Americans are going after the structure of Iran's regime. Larijani was largely considered the de facto leader in the aftermath of the killing of Iran's former supreme leader, and uncertain questions about Mustafa Khamenei, the man who was elected to be the next supreme leader. Larijani was serving as the secretary to Iran's Supreme National Security Council. I can also report overnight the Israelis, in a separate strike, killed the top commander of Iran's Basij forces. This is a wing of the IRGC. His name is Ghulam Reza Soleimani, and he was responsible for commanding the crackdown on protesters earlier this year across Iran.
Now, Fred has posted an AP story about this on our website, so I'll share that.
What's our website so people can read? Folks, if you want a news service you can trust, ours is 24/7, and you need to go there and access it. Where can people? What's our news service website?
Great question. American Family News is the name of our radio and print news service. Our website is afn.net. So many of the stories that you hear us talk about on this show and on our top of the hour newscasts wind up on our website, which is afn.net.
All right, this is really significant, okay, what you just heard, because probably second to the Ayatollah Khomeini, who was killed, when this all began? When was it, 2 weeks ago or so? The Israelis are saying that they have killed the Supreme National Security Council Secretary, Ali, I can't pronounce
Larijani.
Yes. And the another commander, which is high up in the Iranian regime. I guess they did this in the last 12 hours or so.
Last night, yeah.
Last night. Listen, I gotta say, I am in awe of the Israelis' ability to track these people.
Yeah.
And find them and eliminate them, as the word is used. Kill them. It's just it's the Mossad. That's the equivalent of the U.S. CIA, right? Or the British, what do you call it,
MI6.
MI6. They're the intelligence agency for the Israelis, and they know everything. And I'm assuming they have assets on the ground, a.k.a. spies, almost everywhere. And then they're the way they're able to track these people. And have you ever seen anything like it, Ed?
I have not. And listen, what's amazing about this, but what makes me applaud Israel for doing it, is Iran has been threatening Israel for decades upon decades. They have funded some of the bloodiest, most violent terrorist groups in the Middle East, with an eye towards killing innocent Jewish civilians. And Israel has finally said, we're not taking it anymore.
Right.
Whoever you put at the top of that regime, we're killing them.
Right.
And I don't blame them. Whatever you think about the U.S. involvement, and I'm not opposed to it. I have concerns and fears about what could ultimately happen. That's a separate issue. That's for political scientists and historians and politicians to argue about, and then we'll just talk about it. But I absolutely do not blame Israel for doing this, because they've had it. After that October 7th attack, something flipped.
Hamas funded by Iran.
Yes.
Hezbollah, funded by Iran.
Something flipped. A switch was flipped in Israel. They realized they can't go on like this, and they're going to flatten anybody who tries to annihilate them as a nation. And Iran, you are getting payback because Israel can do it, and it looks like they're going to continue to do it.
Larijani, he was the guy that you may have seen in video last Friday. They had a big celebration in the street, basically saying we're going to win this thing and down with the USA. He is the guy who was up front in that demonstration. Soleimani, the other guy that was taken down, he is the guy the reports say was responsible for the massacre of the Iranian citizens, 30,000 in recent months.
So they're all celebrating that. I mean, maybe not out in the street, but some of them are.
Yeah, celebrating is right. It is amazing how they find out where you are and when is the best time to get you.
Listen, Israel nor the United States here in this war are carpet bombing. Okay, we are. There was an error that I don't know the whole story behind this that hit the building with the young girls early on in the war in Iran. That's the report that 100 or so schoolgirls were killed. And that's very sad and tragic. You call that in war terms collateral damage? It was a big mistake. If in fact it was the U.S. Tomahawk missile that struck them. However, other than that, and Benjamin Netanyahu made this point a couple of weeks ago. He said, Iran, for the most part, is just trying to fire into Israel and kill civilians. They don't care where it lands. Okay. On the other hand, Israel is intentionally targeting military and regime operations in Iran. Israel's not just shooting a bunch of, and they could if they wanted to. They're not firing indiscriminately into Iran, killing a bunch of innocent people. Whereas that's what the Iranians are trying to do in Israel, and seemingly other places too. The Iranians they're creating enemies all over the region on a daily basis. I mean, they even hit they hit a place in Iraq that's, I guess, where U.S. operations are. Some military operations are. But I'm just the way the Israelis are able to find these leaders and take them out. Now President Trump, I just saw Fox News. And their headline, their caption, while the president was speaking, I guess this morning, was President Trump was saying Iran wants to make a deal. I don't know what that means. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, what that means exactly. But anyway, just the way that the Israelis are able to conduct operations, and they're doing this from 1,200 to 1,500 miles away. I don't know. Iran's a pretty big country geographically too.
Yeah, it's like the size of Alaska.
Okay, it's a pretty big. They can spread their military and their weapons out, but they seem to be diminishing by the day. So
I think that's a fair assessment. I don't know what kind of deal. I'm sure there are. I don't know who would make a deal. When President Trump says Iran wants to make a deal, I don't know who's left to make a deal with the U.S. and with Israel. But I suspect that Israel is saying, no, we want regime change. We do not want these Jew haters in control of Iran because we'll be back doing this in 5 years or 10 years.
Right.
You've got to have somebody finish the job and have a regime in control of Iran who says, look, we want our people to live. We want everyone else to have the opportunity to live. Listen, I don't know how long it's going to be before some of these Arab countries in the Middle East fire back at Iran.
You mean at Iran?
At Iran.
Yeah.
Because yes, there may be U.S. bases, but, in Kuwait, for example, or Iraq or Saudi Arabia, they have the right to say, yeah, we're going to let U.S. bases exist here. And then if you attack a U.S. base, you're still attacking sovereign soil in these countries.
I'll tell you one other thing, and Fred, comment on this if you want to. The other countries in the region, they have to be looking at this. Take the U.S. out of it, okay? But they have to be looking at this going, you don't want any part of Israel. Now, I think they know that already and have known it because you have not seen any kind of threats by Egypt or Jordan or Saudi Arabia, Syria. They're in chaos over there anyway. Lebanon, they got their Hezbollah problem up there. That's to the direct north of Israel. They got Hezbollah within their country, and Israel's dealing with that now. But these countries around them, on the contrary, they're not even threatening them. They want peace with Israel.
Yes.
They want peace with Israel.
Yep.
So they have to be looking at this too, going, wow, we want peace with Israel. Go ahead.
Someday someone will write a book about the Trump years. But if you go back to the first installment of Donald Trump, the Abraham Accords.
Yes.
Laid the groundwork
Yes.
for exactly what you're talking about, Tim.
Yes.
In that, hey, Israel, all of the Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, you guys all get along, and it'll benefit everybody.
Yes.
And to Donald Trump's credit and the negotiators that he had, it laid the groundwork for what you're seeing today. Because these nations that you're talking about, Tim, allowed these U.S. military bases to go in there to help support that Abraham Accord.
Yeah.
So it took away any animosity that was between Israel and Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, et cetera, et cetera. So they're now, it's hard to believe this, they're working as a team. Even in Lebanon, Hezbollah still has obviously a presence there, and they're bombing into Israel. And now Israeli soldiers have entered
Lebanon,
a contingent of them at least, into southern Lebanon. But the Lebanese political leaders are telling Hezbollah back off.
Right.
So Hezbollah no longer has the support of the Lebanese government because Lebanon wants that kind of peace.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Also, this has all been caused by the Iranian regime led by the Ayatollahs. This isn't the general population of Iran. From all we can gather, the vast majority of Iranians, if you were to survey them, who's for going to war to kill the Jews? Raise your hand. They're not going to be for that. They just want to live their lives, work, be peaceful, but this regime, their religious ideology based on Shia Islam, they believe they have a calling from Allah to kill the Jews.
Right.
So I don't know. That's the reason, because I've said many times before, I know people get tired of me saying this, there is no historical, well, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think I'm right on this. There's no historical reason for Iran to want to crush Israel.
Right. There's no grievance.
They're not border countries. They haven't been fighting for hundreds of years, the Jews versus the Persians or Iranians. So this is just an obsession. You talk about an obsession, and the correct use of that word, on the part of the Ayatollahs and the mullahs. We gotta kill all the Jews and kill all the Christians. Basically, they would equate that with Israel and the Great Satan USA. So now there may be some animosity on the part of the Iranian leadership, the Ayatollahs, against the U.S. involvement in the 60s and 70s and the Shah and bringing Western values to an Islamic country, that kind of thing. But as I say, their obsession with fighting Israel and killing Israel is that even they're Persians in Iran. They're funding Hamas, which are Arabs, and there are also different kind of Islam. So they're not even they don't even agree religiously. Yet they're giving them money because they can kill the Jews. Same with Hezbollah. So anyway, it's just Iran, as you said, Ed, been threatening Israel for decades. Every president, I know, even going back to Bill Clinton, has said we cannot allow Iran to have nuclear weapons. It would be a potential catastrophe for the world. And President Trump, remember this, President Trump negotiated with the Iranians a month or so ago and tried to reason with them. And even to the point of President Trump committing to said to the Iranians, okay, if this is all on the up and up, then, and you want energy,
nuclear power.
Nuclear power, we'll supply you all you want endless.
Yeah.
All you got to do is stop your threats of a nuclear weapon against Israel and stop building these things. And they said no. They said, no, we're going to keep on.
And they basically said, from what we're hearing from those negotiators on the U.S. side, they said, not only are we not going to do that, we don't want your uranium, but we can build nuclear weapons. We're close to doing it, and you can't stop us.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're supposed to do as President of the United States. Certainly Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, said that's a direct threat and it's imminent, and we're going.
Yeah.
And, we this is a fight to the death. And so I guess he convinced President Trump, if he needed convincing, it's for the betterment of the world if you join us in this effort. We need to take this regime down.
Yeah.
So anyway, tell you what we're going to do. Take our break right here, a little early, and then we shall return. Chris has got a bunch more stories.
We also have Star Parker.
Star Parker.
That's a name that some of our listeners haven't heard in a while. She's a nationally syndicated columnist, and she's running for office.
Yeah, running for political office, too. Star Parker, she'll be joining us in just a few minutes here. On today's issues on the American, you're listening to the radio program, Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. As Christians, we need to pray. We really, and I'm saying that in a flippant way, we need to pray about this moment.
We need to pray for regime change.
Yes.
And for the Iranian people to be freed from that radical Islamic dictatorship.
We'll be back momentarily.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
He was a little man, stood a little over 5 feet tall, weighed not much more than a young boy. But when he rose to speak, crowds numbering in the thousands would listen in awe as he preached. Thousands upon thousands responded to his plea. As a child, he barely escaped death from burning. Some enemies of his father set fire to his home. As the family escaped, they thought all the children were safe. His mother looked back at the burning house and saw his face filled with fear pressed against a window. Some neighbors went to his rescue and pulled him from the burning house. Even though he had 18 brothers and sisters, only 4 younger than he, there was still enough love to go around for him. His mother constantly saw to it that she spent some time alone with him as well as with each of her other children. His father was a preacher, and the family had a hard time just managing to get by. As an adult, he entered the ministry and served well in the service of Christ. He came to America to preach before the United States of America came into being. Failing in his preaching ministry in America, as well as being rejected in a love affair, he packed his bags and headed home for England, a dejected man. Soon after he had returned to England, he had an experience with the carpenter of Galilee, which was not only to drastically change his life, but altered the lives of millions of other people around the world. He became so fervent with his preaching that one of the churches where he preached informed him that he was not to preach in the church again. The church was like most of the churches in England at that time, cold and formal. It wasn't long before he received notices from other churches in England that he was not to preach in them again either. And in time he found that all the churches were closed to him, and the Church of England, of which he was a member, no longer had a place for him. He was invited to preach in the open countryside to the common folk, but declined. He thought it beneath his dignity and the dignity of the good news he preached to preach in the open air. One day, however, he swallowed his pride and went into the open air to preach. It was the beginning of a way of preaching which he would follow for the rest of his life. Not only did this man influence the religious life of England, but he also fought for and helped secure better social conditions for the poor people. His followers wanted him to withdraw from the Church of England and begin a new movement, but he never consented to it. He died refusing to part with the Church of England, even though the Church of England refused to have him. John Wesley fell in love with the Galilean fisher of men at Aldersgate. This meant he fell in love with the people also. Finding the doors closed to him in the place where he wanted to proclaim the good news, he turned in another direction where his Creator had opened the door. It's an example we could still follow. For you see, when one door closes, God opens another one.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
In him we were also chosen as God's own, having been predestined according to the plan of him who works out everything by the counsel of his will, in order that we, who were the first to hope in Christ, would be for the praise of his glory. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 11 and 12.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. We get cards and letters and emails, and we, for the most part, we appreciate them. Every once in a while, we'll get one. Goes in file 13. You got that file 13, Ed?
I got a file 13.
Anyway.
If they're not encouraging, right?
Yeah,
You got to be constructive
positive and
criticism.
encouraging. That's what we K-Love emails. That's
Yep.
what we like. Anyway, got one from Carol and Jean in Sunnyside, Washington. Got a real nice typed out letter.
Oh, you don't get those much anymore.
No, they say they're really. They say they continue to enjoy, be encouraged by what we hear on 88.1 in Sunnyside, Washington. We've been on the air there a long, long time.
This is Washington State.
Washington State. Anyway, our thanks to you and those who helped bring us the good news of the gospel. And then got a note card from Carolyn in Ohio. Thank you for all you do. And she was especially participated in the preborn.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Preborn sent a big check to help support the ministry of preborn, which we support here at AFA, to help save unborn babies' lives. And she said, this is Carolyn from Ohio, I listened to many of your programs and love them all, but I must say today's issues is my favorite. That sounds like I'm bragging because there are many shows here on AFR, and she could have said anyone, but I didn't write this.
Right.
I'm only reading what she wrote.
Yes.
Carolyn in Ohio. And she says today's issues is her favorite.
Yeah. Who are we to argue with?
Who are we? That's why I didn't want to argue with her.
No.
Write her back and say, are you sure about that? And then we also, another Carolyn from Plano, Texas, sent us a real nice
hardcover
card.
book.
Yeah, Carolyn in Plano sent us, she's 84 years old. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right. Just a
at
fact.
84,
Interesting
she's
fact.
doing good.
Yeah.
So she sent me the great all-time baseball record book.
Oh.
Which is a hardcover. I mean, this is a real book. You hear that?
It's
Listen to this, people. That's a real book.
It's not cheap to mail that.
No.
So anyway, she sent me she knew how much we talk about baseball sometimes.
Yeah.
And she said the great all-time baseball record book. That's what she sent us. So anyway, those are just
Great listeners.
3 nice cards and letters and such that we got from some of our listeners around the country. And by the way, we have people at least three times a week come through, maybe more, here and visit us here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're very welcoming.
Yes.
Hey, Mississippi's a hospitality state, so we welcome you Monday through Friday.
And they don't usually mind the pat down and search that we do before they.
It's friendly.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
That's from Brent.
So listen, tell folks we do have folks that stop by. Maybe and a lot of people travel to go to the beach or.
And they stop by.
They would stop by.
If you go to afa.net, that's our over the umbrella website. AFR.net is also there for American Family Radio. But if you go to afa.net and look at the drop-down menu that says More, there is a tab that you can click through on. It says Visits, and you do have to fill that out. And you do need to plan to make sure Friday afternoons are a bad time to come if you want to meet staff, because I don't know. We open on Friday afternoons. I'm
doing Bible study usually on my Friday.
There are departments that are open, and you want to meet folks. You probably want to pick a different day. But anyway, afa.net. And then More, and then click through on Visits.
Monday through Thursday.
Thursdays is better.
Fridays you can come by, but noon.
Friday morning.
Afternoon, it just kind of
very
sparse.
Slim. Yeah.
Yeah. You might get to meet with Bill, the janitor. All right.
We got a guest.
I don't know. We don't have Bill the janitor.
Yeah.
That sounds like a character on Sesame Street, though, doesn't it?
Bill the janitor.
Bill the janitor. All right. We want to welcome to our program Star Parker. Star is a long time friend of our ministry here, and she was in Washington, D.C., working for CURE, the Center for Urban Renewal and Education, and that's a ministry and organization that she started. She's back in her home state of California now, and she's doing her work from there and also running for political office. And so Star joins us. Good morning, Star.
Hey, good morning, Tim. And actually, I did stop by, and I think it was on a Friday that I visited, so I believe I met Bill.
Did you meet Bill? Hey, listen, he's one heck of a janitor, I'll tell you that. He just goes the extra mile, Bill. Bill does.
Did you really stop by on a Friday?
I tell you, the Spirit of the Lord is there at your complex, regardless of what time people come by, just sit and visit if nobody's there. But God is doing a move, and I think it's listening to you read up through some of the letters you're receiving. I think it's so encouraging what you've done forever. Because, I'm thinking about Washington State, where I was even born, and the woman who wrote up there, they're going through so much trouble right now because the liberals are in charge of their state, and they're running everybody out. But some people love their home, and they don't want to move.
I know.
Me.
Yeah, like you. And we do sympathize with people who live in deep blue states. They love the Lord, and they're common sense, conservative people, but yet they got to live with this madness going on, especially in Sacramento and these other state capitals that rule over the blue states. Okay, so you were...
But I don't know that we have to live with it, Tim.
Okay.
I just don't know that. And that's the reason that you just mentioned that I retired out of Washington, D.C. from an organization that I founded. 30 years after public life, I came home. we found at Cure, my board and I, the most incredible new president, Donald Eason, a pastor out of Detroit, Michigan, and he's just amazing. And in fact, anyone who's seen the picture of Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, when they finished the SAVE Act, the Save America Act, that's Donald Eason, our Cure president, at his left shoulder. That's how much influence Cure has in Washington, D.C. But I went home. I didn't go home to be active. I came home to retire, to just refresh in the things of the Lord. But when I got here and found that it was just not so overwhelmingly progressive Democrat, but my district had been taken over. Now, I never gave up my residency here in California, but I was in and out because I had to work in Washington for the last 15 years full time. But when that reality hit me, I just couldn't do it with the Lord. I just said, I can't do this, Lord. And I heard in my gut God say, then take him out. Take out Mike Levin, who is my new congressional leader. So that's what I'm doing. There are things we can do in these blue states. We can take them back for the Lord is what we can do. And not that everyone should run for political office, but I know that God asked me to get in it, so I'm in it to win it. And here we are.
Well, before some liberal news organization says that Star Parker and AFR says a man needs to be, quote, taken out, end quote. I just want you to I just want to clarify. We're talking politically here,
metaphorically.
people. Yeah, metaphorically and politically. We're talking Star is going to. She's running for office to, quote, take out the opponent there, who is a very liberal man, but she's talking about politics here, not any kind of other way. So what do you?
They're the ones that get violent. We're the ones that still battle in the voting booth.
Yes.
So they're the side that. So
That's
thank you
true.
for clarifying that. So we battle in the voting booth. We still have free enough country that we have options. And if the God-fearing born agains would participate, we could actually turn our country toward its founding principles. But thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, just trying to save you a lot of grief there, Star.
I thought God saved me years ago when he rescued me from my horrible life of believing the lies of the left and getting involved in criminal activity and drug activity and sexual activity and abortion activity and welfare activity, and then he just saved me up. So I've been saved up. But thank you for rescuing me from having to go to jail for the threat of trying to take somebody.
What are you in for?
We knew what you meant, but anyway, Star Parker joining us now from SoCal. That's Southern California's shorthand. There now, where? So you're running back. You're running for United States House of Representatives. Is that what you're going to do?
That's exactly right. And so anyone that's not in California 49, which is the coastline here in Southern California, I live in San Clemente, a little Spanish villa by the sea, and then it goes down the coastline through our military base, which is also in my district, Camp Pendleton, our Marines who are now over there in Iran, many of them. And then I have Oceanside and Carlsbad and Encinitas and a few other little cities. But anyone doesn't live here and can't vote for me, I can still vote for them. If they help me get in this seat, which is gettable, it's a long shot, but it's gettable, then I will take our mutual values into the United States House of Representatives. Because as you just mentioned, Tim, yes, every vote in the House now is affecting all of our lives. It's no more just the 700,000 people that live in that one little defined area. It is all of us. That squad is out to destroy our country and our culture. And the congressman that I'm running against, our sitting legislator, Mike Levin, is part of that progressive takeover in our House of Representatives. There are 100 of these progressives. Many of them are just deep-rooted evil. They're against God. They're living the Psalm 2, against God and against his anointed one. Wondered, how can we break his bonds and cast his cords from us? But you know what the scripture says. The Lord then laughs at them. Then he sets them in derision. Then he speaks to them in his deep displeasure. And that's what I believe that this campaign is about that I'm in right now. God needs to stand up and speak to these people because we're in serious, serious trouble. And anyone that goes to the grocery store or the gas station knows it.
Hey, it's Chris here. I've interviewed you a number of times with our news service, American Family News. One of the things that we have talked to you for years about is welfare reform. and welfare has been in the news a lot because of fraud in states like California, Minnesota, and others. Where are you on the need to combat that in California and other states?
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because you're absolutely right. That's what brought me to the forefront when we were doing welfare reform in our country. I was very involved in that because after God saved me from my criminal life, I got a college degree. I got started a business, and then the 1992 Los Angeles riots destroyed that business, and that was right about the time that our country had had enough of this cancer that was amongst us of the welfare state, the expansion of people just not being able to move into their purpose and reality of their lives because we had developed out this government system that says, don't worry about any natural consequences to any sin. We've got these safety nets. And we saw family life start collapsing. We saw that feminist movement in the 60s. We saw just so much, I guess you could say, moving away from our founding principles in terms of public policy. Tim mentioned earlier baseball. Well, policy making is a lot like baseball. It's slow, it's boring. And so once we did welfare reform in the mid-90s, and I was a major part of that, most Americans said, okay, good, we did it. Let's take our ball and bat and go home. And yet we didn't really do it. It was the beginning of trying to get ourselves away from paying for other people's lives, interjecting ourselves where God should be. It was God or government. And we kept choosing government. So I founded CURE to be an answer to many of those problems that we were seeing in our most hard-hit communities. And finding out later, as I progressed into this and developing out a pastor program inside of CURE, that we have 8,700 broken zip codes. So that's a long answer to your short question. Where we are in welfare reform is we still have 8,700 broken zip codes. And what is happening in those broken, distressed areas, while we have little movement, from the right, the left is entrenched this dependency, and now the left, and through the progressive arm of the left, they're installing congressional leaders who will keep that going on so they can destroy other people's lives. I've said too many times, if you want to see socialism, you don't have to go to Cuba. You can go to Compton. You can go to Camden. You can go to any and every inner city in our country and see what it's like when government takes over every aspect and you have some king on top of the hill. So fast forward to today, which is your question, where are we? Where we are is that the majority of Americans now have some influence of government in their lives, and they don't know what to do without that. So we have to now be like surgeons that go in and say, look, the cancer has metastasized, but we've got to get it out now. And that's what Donald Trump is attempting to do. And our born-again leaders, from Mike Johnson to John Thune, are saying we can't go on the way that we have been for the last 50, 60 years. So we have to now methodically get this cancer out, which is your addiction to government, and make sure that you can live as free people.
Okay, we're talking to Star Parker, our long time friend. She's in California. She's running for United States Congress. So, Star, you are a black woman from California. That doesn't exactly equal conservative Christian Republican, right? What happened to you?
What?
You're supposed to be a squad member.
I know, but he didn't. He said he didn't look at the outward. He looks at the heart, and his heart and his love for me was freedom. I mean, I experienced his amazing grace. Why in the world would I want to be addicted to a philosophy that destroys people's potential? And so I changed. That's what happened to me. I changed.
Amen. Well, I know
you want that. You want that for others.
Yeah, and I knew that story. I know, but there may be people who are listening for the first time going, she doesn't fit the mold of what I would expect. California is supposed to be. They're all liberal wackos out there, right?
That's what people think. It's not true.
Sure if that's all.
What'd you say?
I said that the scripture said when God had to speak to Elijah, I've got 7,000 men who haven't bowed to the Baal.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So we have some excitement going on. We have major churches now that are that once pandemic happened and their eyes were open that the reality that government is in places where God belongs, they woke up and they haven't turned back. So, in fact, 38% voted for Trump, and now there's talk that our top two governor candidates are Republicans. The Democrats are falling over themselves. I'm telling you, God is laughing at them right now, and he's setting them in derision because we can't keep going down this path of destruction. We're going to destroy our own country. The progressive left, look what they're saying even with the war in Iran right now. They're always on the side of the domestic and the international terrorists. And so there are many Californians that are awakened now. It's going to be a lot to turn things around, but we're seeing real hopeful signs, including that God would speak to me to come here and run. I did not come home to run for office. I ran once before when I was encouraged by the GOP to get in a race in a district I didn't live in, but I thought I had done my public life. I've been on 300 college campuses in this country. I've been on 300 pregnancy care center banquet platforms to help them raise that money to save the lives of the unborn in their local communities. I've been there, done that, moved out of my personal home because of the threat levels and needed to move, had to go into a security protection program during Trump's first administration. So, I came home kind of weary and tired, but the energy came back. The energy came back because it's just too important for our children and our grandchildren that we keep connected to the founding principles of our country, the biblical truth, the limited government, the open markets, and e pluribus unum.
All right. So what is the website you would have people go to?
Well, if they want to help my campaign, then it's electstarparker.com. electstarparker.com. We need all hands on deck. God just did a major invisible hand movement for us because the GOP had selected someone before I got the tap in my gut to get in. So we began to pray, well, Lord, if you're telling me to do this, then you need to move Eliab out of the way because I'm looking at Goliath. And sure enough, 2 weeks ago, Eliab moved over into the district next door because Darrell Issa, who used to be my congressman, decided not to go for re-election. So we're seeing the hand of the Lord say, this is yours, but I'm going to need the resources that it's going to take. So if people can go to electstarparker.com and help me, I will definitely be voting for our mutual biblical truths and values when I get into the United States House of Representatives.
All right. Star, have a good day. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Well, God bless you, too. And let's continue to pray for those folks from Texas and from Washington and from Ohio that you just talked about. These are our sisters in the Lord, and I'm just loving them very, very much. And it's hopeful to those of us that have been on the front line to hear from those decent people that are just in quiet communities, just loving on God. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, Chris, and hope to see you guys soon.
Okay, thank you.
Star Parker. Man, she said she was going to retire. She just sounds like she's got as much energy as ever.
Yes.
No, some people can't retire.
Yeah, no.
It's not in their DNA. They retire for about 3 months, and they go, what am I going to do with the rest? I can't. What is that?
There's too much to be done.
God called her to run for office. She just wanted to go out and, I guess, look at the Pacific Ocean and have a cappuccino.
Have you had enough of a look?
Right.
Okay, I got something else for you to do.
Right.
That's exciting. I'm excited for her.
Is retirement in the Bible, by the way?
Nope.
It's not.
Nope.
Because we should always be serving the Lord. Okay,
Yeah.
so a little mini sermon. We are put on this earth to know God, love God, and serve God. Okay, so technically speaking, while God may allow you to retire from a job, you're always going to be serving God. And if your heart is for the kingdom and for God's people and for the people around us who are suffering, you're going to see needs and you're probably going to be moved to do something to help.
So
and we're never retired from that.
Excuse me. So you can retire from a job. That's the Bible doesn't necessarily say one thing or another about that, but you can never, as a Christian, retire from doing kingdom work.
Yeah, that's right.
As long as you have the health.
As long as you have the health and the wherewithal to do that,
whatever that kingdom work is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's biblical.
Yep.
Now you are able to get out of nursery duty after 30 years, right?
Well, you have been.
I did. It's going to be on my tombstone.
30 years is a long time.
Here lies a man
that.
who served in the nursery for 30 years.
Listen,
you
get crowns for that.
It may be long in the nursery when the little ones that you started with are now parents and they're bringing theirs.
Yeah, that's true. You know you're moving on down life's road. I don't mean to suggest every Sunday working in the nursery for 30 years. Once a month.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's 30. It may have been 27. I don't know.
Well, you
but
sound like you're crawfishing now. Well, it wasn't every
well, I didn't want the
Sunday.
Lord to convict me about lying.
Right. Right.
Okay.
You were willing to help, and you did.
And I did.
Yeah.
And Allison, my wife, and I, we both did. Beyond our own kids being that age.
No, listen, that's I know the church that I attend and you attend as well. That's what they're asking people to do, is just come in, once a month or once every 2 months, I think. And that is appreciated when people will step in and do that.
The easiest way to run a nursery I found was just put everybody in timeout right from the get-go. I don't care
one way of doing it.
I don't care if they've done anything or not. You just put them all in timeout.
Or, here, sweetie, have some melatonin.
Yeah.
Melatonin.
Or just keep giving them the animal cookies, okay?
Here are...
so they're lying on the ground.
You like gummies? Here, have this gummy.
Because I won't see, after 45 minutes from now, I ain't going to see you again for a while. So if you want to load up on sugar now, go right ahead.
Or those little goldfish crackers.
Oh, yeah.
Those are a big
Those
winner.
things are addictive.
Yeah, they are.
Huh? I mean, so I used to get about 3 or 4 from each one of the little children.
For yourself?
For myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They never missed
tax.
It was teaching them offering.
It was.
Yes.
And to share. Share. All right, you're listening to today's issues on AFR. Tim, Ed, Fred, and Chris. Chris, we got about 3 minutes left.
Yes.
Do you have anything happy news in your stack of stuff right there?
Well,
is it all?
It sounds like a big
The answer is no.
In terms of sound, no. I can mention something involving Cuba, though, because Starr mentioned Cuba a moment ago. Cuba is in the news because while a lot of people are paying attention to the situation in Iran, the Cuban communist government there has pretty much collapsed. And it's a matter of time when we might see some sort of regime change there or a revolt by the people. President Trump himself was asked about this by Fox's Peter Doocy. And this audio clip it's got music underneath it. It's the only version I could find in its entirety where Trump says something, Doocy asks him to clarify, and Trump gives his answer. So clip 6.
See, all my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it.
Technically he can, I think. and if anyone's going to do it, Donald Trump is going to. He's going to free Cuba. I'm going to take it.
I think that caused the liberals' heads to just completely spin off and go to Mars.
He's going to share a picture of
the greatest Cuba ever.
Yeah. Trump.
Well, you're right. Technically, he's correct. They're out of energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's basically have a blockade of Venezuelan oil, which they have relied on. We're having to rush this issue because Chris tossed it.
I asked him to give us some happy news, and
I thought he was going to talk about the U.S. playing Venezuela in the World Baseball Championship.
It was a game-time decision.
We do need to come back and do this Cuba story a little more justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll take a 5-minute break for goldfish.
Yeah.
You can't eat just one bag.
For the cheddar goldfish, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Teenage years can be a time of trial. It can be really difficult, but it can also be the most fun and the best years of your parenting.
Dr. Jessica Peck is a pediatric nurse practitioner as well as a professor, author, and mother of 4. Dr. Peck is host of the Dr. Nurse Mama Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Central, and find her podcast at afr.net. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Chris Woodward. The U.S. and Israel have pummeled Iran for more than 2 weeks now, yet the Islamic regime continues to respond with attacks. When asked about that on Fox and Friends, Fox reporter Trey Ying said the regime was prepared for war.
Iran has a mosaic defense. They prepared for this war, understanding that the United States and Israel would take out their top officials. And so they have a number of people who can fill the shoes of these individuals, but they're less experienced and they don't understand the command structure as well. And so that is why the Iranian the structure of the military apparatus is really in disarray as the United States and Israel are decimating the regime. But when we think about the officials who have made comments in recent days, and we look at officials like Masoud Pezeshkian, the president, or Iran's foreign minister, there were often times over the past week where they were saying, we have told our forces, do not fire at our friends in the Gulf. And then minutes later, Iranian forces fired at their friends in the Gulf. And this speaks to the inability of the Iranian leadership that has been decapitated to order ground forces to do what they want. And if they can't stop them from firing on countries who are offering mediation and support, in some cases like Oman, of the Iranian regime at the negotiating table, it raises real questions about Iran's ability to continue the fight in this war, especially given the fact that, according to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, the United States has taken out Iran's production capability. And so they're still firing missiles and drones, but they don't have the ability to create more.
Some countries are not offering to help protect oil tankers and other ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. Talking about this on Washington Watch, veteran and energy expert Brigham McCown offered this thought.
Right now, I think other countries are wary. They're concerned because their ships, their navies are not nearly as robust as ours. If you look at the UK, they've dwindled from ships stretching across the world to fewer than 3 dozen combatants. The French have talked about minesweeping assets in the area. But again, there's a little bit of heartburn with some of our allies who feel they weren't consulted.
A terrifying crash in Texas is now at the center of a $1 million lawsuit against Tesla. Here's Fox's Ted Lidner.
A Houston woman says her Cybertruck, operating in autopilot mode, nearly drove her and her 1-year-old child off an overpass before slamming into a concrete barrier. Dashcam video from the August 2025 crash appears to show the truck failing to follow a curve on Houston's 69 East X freeway. The driver says she tried to regain control, but it was too late. She suffered multiple injuries. The lawsuit claims Tesla misrepresented its driver assistance technology. Tesla has not yet commented. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
A new gun control measure has advanced in Vermont state legislature. Fox's Evan Brown says it's based on whether or not someone is mentally ill.
A bill barely passes a committee vote along party lines among Vermont state lawmakers, known as H606. The prospective law would bar anyone currently under a court order for outpatient mental health treatment from not just buying new guns, but from owning a firearm at all. And this was the sticking point for the Republicans in the minority. The Republicans on that committee were willing to go along with the bill's other provisions, which include making firearms theft a felony. They say this isn't hospitalized persons who are mentally unwell, but people well enough to live on their own outside of an institution, and that they shouldn't have their self-defense capabilities impacted.
The Big Apple could be seeing a few changes involving self-checkout lanes if a new bill passes. Here's Fox reporter Kendall Green.
One New York council member introduced a bill taking aim at unattended self-checkout counters.
And ensures that self-checkout areas are staffed and limited to small purchases so they're safer and better supervised.
Amanda Farias represents the Bronx and shares retaining retailers has been a challenge. Her bill, if passed, will require at least 1 employee supervision per 3 kiosks within a self-checkout area at large grocery stores across the 5 boroughs, and also reinforce the 15-item limit. The city's Department of Consumer and Worker Protection would take on stores that don't comply, charging a $100 fine per employee absent from the area.
Some opponents of the measure claim it would add an extra expense that some businesses cannot afford. In final news, if you're flying somewhere today, be prepared for cancellations or delays. Weather was a factor again this morning. Find more news on AFN.net.
As we watch world events unfold and fulfill Scripture, it's hard to believe anyone could doubt God and His Word are real. And yet there are so many who either question or completely refuse to believe it. The God Who Speaks is a 90-minute documentary that hits the doubt head-on with evidence that proves God is real and His Word is the ultimate authority. Watch it anytime and invite others to watch with you. Just visit stream.afa.net. That's stream.afa.net.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. We're here every Monday through Friday. Fridays we have Trivia Friday / Learning Universities, but Monday through Thursday we try to bring you down as much as we possibly can.
And we succeed.
Yes, we do. We try to. Today is Tuesday, March the 17th, 2026. Tim, Ed, and Fred. And now Steve Paisley Jordahl joins us. Good morning, Steve.
Hello, everybody.
By the way, fellas, just I'm going to brighten your day. If you like warm weather, it's about to be here. Now, I know we have listeners all over the country, but I think most of the country is going to warm up. Well, the people out west are warming up too much.
Yeah.
But but I'm looking at here in Tupelo. Like 82 Friday, 85 Saturday, 86 Sunday with sunshine. You seeing that, Steve?
Right.
Well, you have a little more optimistic weather app than I do because I'm Friday 78, Saturday 81, and Sunday 84. But yeah, it's going to get warmer.
But then next week's high is 70, 63, 70, 74. A little spring weather.
That's what I'm talking about. Huh? I don't care. I wish, as far as I'm concerned, it would be summertime all year round. But my feelings on this are well known. But, huh? Would you say it?
Just the way you said that. Yeah. My feelings on this are well known.
Yes, they're well documented. People would say, well, if you want summertime all year long, move to Florida, I guess. But I don't know. I like a little fall.
Sure.
Yeah. I like 3 days of winter.
A few days of winter.
But now you got all this green stuff out floating around.
Oh.
Huh? Have you
green?
Have you
yellow.
seen
green, yellow,
green and yellow stuff?
Yeah.
Seen this, Steve?
Oh,
Are you used to this being from the West Coast?
The West Coast, California's called the Golden State, and everybody thinks it's because they found gold in the river up in the hills. No, it's because the hills are literally gold, because nothing ever gets green in California, it seems, to me. And
it never rains there either.
That's what
they
that's what the pop song says.
Southern California. But I'm talking about the what do you call it? The
pollen.
Pollen everywhere.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad in California, and I had none of it in Colorado. So yeah, I suffer from it here.
Did you have pollen in New England?
Yeah,
you did.
Sure, but it's not like down here.
No.
Okay. And I will say this, that I've lived in New Mexico and Arizona as well. My parents loved the Southwest. Eventually, they moved there and loved it. And they used to. My understanding is they used to send people who had real bad asthma to Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was dry and they didn't have to have the pollen.
Yeah.
But then people started moving there and bringing their plants with them, and now it's one of the worst states.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Serious?
that's what I've.
Just
that's
because
what I've
they
heard.
brought plants, the pollen gets bad.
Well, because they were plants. That
Oh, okay. They're planning on
pollinated.
it.
There's a lesson there that we can apply to the politics of this country. I'm just saying.
Tell us what it is, Steve.
point.
Okay. So, Fred, you used to the pollen up where Nova Scotia?
Never this
In the
bad.
spring?
No.
Never this bad. I mean, I'm told cedar trees, pine trees.
Yeah.
Don't bother washing your car.
Right.
Because 3 hours later it's full of.
Well, you go out there right now. There's yellow stuff, yellow film everywhere, all over the cars.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Is that what the pine trees are doing that?
Pine trees are one of the
Pine
perpetrators.
and the cedar trees as well. Yeah. And where what we live, we're surrounded.
Yeah.
By it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that'll be gone before you know it. So,
Yeah,
It is a first world problem. I always remind myself of it. I'm not having
Duly
to worry
noted.
about the Mongols or the Huns.
Duly noted.
I got pollen, but that's not a bad.
You might sneeze your head off.
That's right, but at least I keep it on my shoulders.
All right, Steve, what do you got?
All right. So one of the most popular AI chatbots is ChatGPT, and we are learning that Sam Altman, who owns the company that creates ChatGPT, is planning to launch a text-only, what he's calling it, an adult mode for ChatGPT, and it will be basically text-only pornography allowed on ChatGPT. They won't be generating images. You can't do audio chats with it, at least at the beginning. But you will be able to have sexually explicit comments or discussions through ChatGPT. They've got an advisory council within OpenAI that's saying, don't do it. There's not near enough guardrails to keep kids off of this.
Oh, my goodness.
And we're already dealing with the problem of ChatGPT talking people into killing themselves. There's been several suicides that have been accused of being encouraged by ChatGPT. So they're saying don't, but Sam Altman says, no, we're going to let adults be adults. At this point, there's no date for the launch, but he's still planning on doing it.
All right. Well, this is what happens when you, I'm not speaking particularly of Mr. Altman because I don't want to get sued, but this is the problem when you sell your soul for $1. Not literally $1, but the love of money. The love of money is a root of all sorts of evil. And this is an example because my perspective on this is that what they're doing is they're trying to be first to do this so that people will use ChatGPT as opposed to another alternative. And listen, kids who might find their way to this and use it, does the biblical warning of a millstone tied around your neck? Some of these people had better start thinking about their own soul and the souls of those who will fall victim to these technologies. There's no putting the genie back in the bottle or the toothpaste back in the tube, but these people better watch out for the consequences because they could be horrifying.
I'm surprised at the timing of this announcement, if indeed it was a formal announcement, because I think the jury is about to come back. A bunch of social media companies are being sued by parents for what their children were able to see. I mean, this is an invitation, if nothing else, for a lawsuit. Because like you say, the kids being able to get into this, I'm with you, Ed. This is about money. Let's just put it right down where it is.
And let me also say, folks, don't misunderstand me. Adults shouldn't be interacting with this stuff either.
No.
This is appealing to the basest part of our human nature in order to make money.
Yeah.
And
which has been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
That philosophy. Yeah.
Yep.
But you're right. Next story, Steve.
All right. This is a story of an illegal alien that came to this country. He was 18 when he came. In 2024, he's 19 now. He arrived in the U.S. Under the Biden administration, who encountered him at the border and then released him into the country. He was enrolled at a high school in Virginia, and he has been accused of sexually assaulting more than a dozen girls at this school. And I want to play you a little bit of a news coverage.
And this is groping.
It is.
Okay, I'm not excusing it.
I'm trying to.
These are
not rape.
Yes,
correct. He laid his hands on the private parts of young ladies that were in the hall. More than a dozen.
He's accused of this.
He is accused of it, and the parents are coming complaining. I just want you to hear this news story about it. Cut 12.
Parents of at least a dozen girls tell 7 News that an 18-year-old male student has been groping and touching their daughters at school as they walk to classes. A number of parents showed up for a hearing this morning. They say 18-year-old Israel Flores Ortez would step up behind girls during school and put his hands on their private areas. Ortez was arrested last week, though prosecutors said in open court this has been going on all year. We also learned today Ortez is an illegal immigrant, and ICE lodged a detainer shortly after his arrest. Today, Ortez's attorney asked a judge to release him on bail, and the prosecutor from the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office under Steve Descano agreed to his release, but the judge was not having it. The judge said, looking at the surveillance video evidence from the school, she did not feel the safety of the public was adequately addressed in the bail request and denied bail. So Ortez will remain in custody.
The Fairfax County does not cooperate with ICE. I've been trying to find the name of this judge to give credit, and at this point, the name has not been.
Well, the governor of Virginia now says we don't cooperate with ICE.
Correct.
Now, this is Fairfax, Virginia, obviously very liberal county.
So what do you do if you're not going to cooperate with ICE? That really doesn't make any sense for anybody. Liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. How you can say at this juncture, this fella who is here in our country illegally, who's been accused of these crimes we just heard about, sexually molesting, if that's what you want to use, all these girls in the school, how you don't say, okay, we have this fella, he's in our country illegally, he came here illegally, ICE needs to come pick him up and deport him. By the way, there's a part of me that doesn't agree with deportation if somebody's a criminal.
Right.
I think they need to serve their time in our prison system, because I know that means we got to pay for them, but sometimes you deport these people, they don't have any consequences to their behavior. They just go home and get let free.
And come back in.
Come back in over and over and over again. So, but anyway, but how you say it's not a good thing for our state, our society, to get the criminals who are here illegally don't cooperate with ICE. I don't understand. I don't understand that mentality. Democrat, conservative, liberal, or whatever.
I wish I could explain it.
Well,
Fred has his hand up, and maybe he's got an answer.
Well, no. On the deportation side, that's a good question. But also, did you say, Steve, this went on for months?
Yes, that's what the news.
All right, then there's all kinds of questions about that.
Yeah.
Did the girls not only tell their parents, did they go to school officials? Why didn't school officials expel him immediately?
Let me just read a paragraph from this. One parent told Fox News that her child's principal made sure to email everyone when someone said or did something that she thought was racist, but waited 2 weeks to tell them about an illegal alien accused of sexually assaulting their daughters.
Well, that's PC stuff.
Yep.
That's DEI. That's
woke
stuff. That's woke stuff. So next story.
All right. Yeah, let's do something a little more positive.
Please.
Elon Musk is on the trail again, and he's got a new update.
Trail again?
Yeah, he's...
Elon Musk is on the trail again.
And he's doing this because he needs money.
Yeah, yes. He needs money. He is making an announcement. He's saying that within a couple weeks or a month or so, they're going to start putting visual implants in so that blind people can see. Let's listen to him. Cut 14.
In the next 6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision, where even if somebody's completely blind, we can write directly to the visual cortex. But long term, you would have very high resolution and be able to see in multispectral wavelengths. You could see in infrared, ultraviolet, radar, like a superpower situation.
Yeah.
This is Geordie LaForge, if you're a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, I remember.
Anybody that's blind, unless you have brain damage, if you're blind, you'll be able to see with us.
That's freaking me out, man.
No, he used the expression, which I've used many times, visual cortex.
Have you used?
I've used that expression. That's
you were on the verge of having a career in this. This kind of biological.
Well, I was, but the cortex started moving around, and I couldn't chase it down. Even if I had a visual on it.
This is after
really hard.
You were not able to proceed on the path either to the NBA or NASCAR.
I tried both those lanes, so to speak. You know what? In all seriousness here, He just said, for people who are completely blind, this new technology for that, I don't know, is it?
It's an implant in your brain.
It's an implant in your brain?
Mm-hmm. The visual cortex is a
so
part
not
of the
even
brain.
your eyeball. We're dealing with your brain.
Well, they will probably hook it to the eyeballs. I would imagine. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
What I would do.
You'd have to. That's true.
Well,
the visual cortex is a part of the brain that processes sight. So they're going to talk directly to the brain. I don't know how they'd have to get the input from somewhere, eyes or another lens somehow, but yeah.
Well, maybe next time you do this story, Steve, why don't you do a deep dive into the biology here, learn as much as you can about this, and explain it as you would to a fifth grader.
Let's give Elon Musk one more shot at this to see if the average person. I think
This is phenomenal.
He seems like the kind of guy that you could. I like him.
I do.
Elon Musk.
He's odd, but geniuses often are.
Right, but I like him. I think he has a good heart, so to speak. I think he understands Western civilization and
he's trying to help people.
The Judeo-Christian value system. He's talked about that
Except
before.
his own life. I would just have to put a caveat
there. Now, he believes in having kids.
Yes, he does. Not so high on marriage, but yeah.
Yeah, right. But he believes in having.
But
I want to hear him again, real quick. And then
all right, yeah.
I wanted to hear that statement we just played him because he explains what's about to happen. He said months away, and this will be
6 to 12 months. We're talking
about, and I wonder who all would be eligible for this. I know blind people, but I mean, you got
80-year-old people.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and play what he just said here.
In the next 6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision, where even if somebody's completely blind, we can write directly to the visual cortex. But long term, you would have very high resolution and be able to see in multispectral wavelengths. You could see in infrared, ultraviolet, radar, like a superpower situation.
Okay, so that sounds like these are going to be the first steps, because he said long term that's what they're working towards.
They want to get people just seeing, period, and then they're going to add the upgrades, I guess.
Well, listen, we're talking about the people who have lost limbs, but all sorts of technological breakthroughs in order to give them the ability to have artificial limbs that can feel and touch and grip. And it's just mind-blowing how quickly these kinds of almost miracle cures are being discovered and created.
When you hear Elon Musk talk like that, you just say to yourself, "What am I doing with my life?" You know.
Well, I will admit for myself, I'm not saying this about anybody else here on this panel. I am not intellectually equipped to do much more than I'm doing with my life, but Elon Musk is certainly
he's a cut above.
The gifts that he's been giving, he is using.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
According to ChatGPT, which I do not have the pornographic version. I'll
That's
just let
good
you
to know,
that.
Steve.
The system has 3 parts. The external camera would be likely in glasses. So this person would likely have glasses that would capture, like a camera to capture the scene. The computer will process the image into signals. The implant in the brain stimulates neurons in the brain to create visual perception.
Wow.
Then enter visual cortex.
That's where they put
That's what I'm saying.
signals.
After that comes the visual cortex. All right.
Even that short statement you made reveals that you know absolutely nothing about what this is, and I know even less than what you said. But hey, listen, you know what's fascinating about this, and then we can move on.
Yeah,
is it my understanding? You guys check my math.
We'll correct you
check
if you're
my
wrong
math on this. But I was always taught in science that your brain flips the image that you get.
It does
through your eyes.
Yeah,
that's right.
I guess.
And the brain does the flipping of that.
Yes.
And kind of fills in and so this would have to do that.
I suppose he would understand that part. It would. I don't think you'd have. I mean, the right would have to be right, left would have to be left, up and down would have to be consistent. Yeah. So, I'm sure he's factored that in.
Hey, I had a question too. I wasn't clear from what he had to say. is he actually claiming that the person who gets this will be able to see like you and I can see right now? He was talking about ranges.
Yeah, like radar and
it
stuff
will
like
start with just the kind of sight that we have. They will perceive through their glasses the same kind of thing we see. So I'm assuming it's color and human figures and depth and everything. Down the road, he wants to add these extra layers, X-ray, infrared. Really, like if you're a Star Trek fan, Geordi LaForge's visor. You can see all kinds of things.
Well, one last thing, and I mean it on this, okay? So let's say I was blind, I'm married to Diane, and I get this new technology.
Careful right here.
I'm
just warning you as a husband myself. I'm just warning you. Think about what you're about to say. Okay, go ahead.
Is there wisdom included so that if my wife asks me, does this dress make me look fat? What do I say? Do I say
you got to learn that on your own?
I don't think, but the visual cortex
is telling
me.
I
Okay,
think there are times in the Bible where you can lie.
that's one of them.
Hey, don't blame me, honey. Elon Musk messed this up.
Elon Musk. My visual cortex is acting up.
All right. Next story, Steve. We got 4.5 more minutes.
All right.
Here.
There's a soccer player in the Major League Soccer League in the St. Louis City team. His name is Edouard Lowen, and he has his wife just passed away. She had cancer. They fought it for a long time, and but she did pass away. And I wanted to play you some things that he said at her funeral, because I think we hear a lot of athletes talking about their love for Jesus. Thank you for the victory. You know, God was with us today. This is remarkable, I think.
Who's this player?
His name is Edward Loden.
Is he a professional soccer player?
Professional soccer player with the Kansas City MLS
St.
team. St. Louis City team. Sorry, thank you. Ready?
Yeah.
Cut 13.
My world has been shattered. And I still don't understand it, and probably never will. And still I can say with confidence that God is enough, that He is my everything, and that I have joy thinking of my sweet Ilona. In the assurance that there's somebody who loves her way, way more than I ever could. She's in eternity, and I will meet her one day. I've lost the most precious thing in my life, and I can still tell you that my purpose hasn't changed, and that God is enough, because as much as I loved her, there's somebody that I love more, and that is Jesus. And my question for you is, what are you waiting for? There is nothing on this earth that compares to what God can give.
Wow. Huh. Well, that was awesome. And so much truth there.
Yeah.
Biblical truth. And so he lost his wife, and
it looks like brain cancer.
That's at her eulogy?
Correct.
At her funeral?
Her funeral.
Wow.
Well, look, you played that for us this morning, and we just thought we would encourage our listeners that, first of all, God is for you, our listeners, but God also has His people in all sorts of fields, in all sorts of walks of life, and this is a wonderful testimony in the middle of a terrible tragedy for this young man.
All right, we're out of time. We thank you for yours on the program today, today's issues. Tim, thank you, Ed.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Fred.
Absolutely.
And Steve.
My pleasure.
Chris Woodward joined us earlier. Star Parker, Brent Creeley, our producer.
Don't forget Cole.
Cole Green, our video man. Is that the proper title?
Video man.
He's the video man. All right, so have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.